If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about the other side of male life. And it's a video that I've wanted to make for a while, but I got given the kind of motivation to make it yesterday when I was reading through the comments. Now, this isn't a knock towards this person. Everybody's due their own opinion, etc. Everyone's got their own life experiences. And I feel sorry for a lot of guys because they haven't got like a father figure, a role model, a masculine man in their life like I had. I had my dad, my uncle. I worked on building sites. I saw what masculine men were like, okay? And it kind of breeds high testosterone, competitiveness, you know, in a sporting sense. You get that as well. I had that a lot. And you kind of get like this drive and passion to be better and to do more and have your duty as a man to kind of be a leader. Like you get this influence, right? But I'm seeing with a lot of younger guys in modern life, they don't have this, which, like I said, is fair enough. It's not their fault. But he put in the comments something along the lines of, when I was young, I went out and I was drinking like 16 to 21. He was like, I was enjoying myself, etc., doing drugs and whatnot. He was like, now I just feel like my life's over. He was like, it peaked then, it's over now. And there was like one guy in the comments who put like, really? Like, 'cause he was as confused as me. And this guy was like 100% bro. And I had to comment, okay? Like, I pretty much replied to everybody in the comments. It's getting very difficult now, but I try and reply to everybody. But I was like, look, I've got to do the older brother thing. I got to slap you around the back of the head. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't personal, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to... I'm going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. I'm going to shout at you, you know, through the screen. And I basically said, you're fucking around. You're fucking around, you need to sort your life out. Like, if you think you cannot improve your life during that time frame, like, let's say he's 25, right? I think he's probably younger, but let's say he's 25. If he doesn't think by 35 his life is going to be better via hard work, then he's a moron. Okay, and I hope he's watching this video. I hope he read that comment because I've got nothing personal against the guy. I always beef with people on camera. Dan Pena, Justin Bieber, now this guy. But it's nothing personal because you got to understand where that's coming from. As somebody who runs a men's lifestyle brand, who actually gives a shit about all this stuff, who got told when he was younger by multiple people, you're stupid, this is a stupid idea, that'll never work, why don't you just go and get a normal job, why are you trying to be an entrepreneur, why are you ambitious, there's no point getting in shape, just come out and get drunk with us. I grew up around this environment and I hate it when somebody's potential is stifled because that kid has not got to that situation on his own. Somebody has put that information in there. I got taught that a long, long time ago by my dad. He always said, somebody has put that there. Somebody has put that information in that kid's head. And he used to he used to coach a lot of my football teams and he'd work with the kids that had low confidence. And by the end of the season, they were kings on the pitch. They were playing better than everybody. They were unbelievable. And he'd like boost them up that way. You know, it's like the fat kid who never got a game. By the end of the season, this kid had a six-pack, was doing sprints in his own time and like... starting every single week. Like, my dad was that kind of inspirational figure and he passed that on to me. And I see that with the youth of today. They're just so negative in that sense. I made that video recently that we have a defeatist mindset in the next generation. Everything's over, you know. You peak at 18, everything after that is downhill. Like, you've got this weird mentality. And like I said, I had to tell him the truth in the comments. I had to say, like, there's so much more to live for. You're being lazy. Like, you're using that as an excuse to get out of having to improve your life. Like, it's easy to stay where you are. It's easy to say, oh, it's not my fault. Life gets worse as you get older. Life peaks when you're young. It's not my fault. It's a great excuse, okay? It's an easy way out. It's a lot harder to do what I'm doing, or what a lot of you guys have chosen to do. You know, in the gym, like I was in the gym this morning. It's one of the earliest I've been in the gym in ages. I've got my passion and my energy back. And I was back in the gym this morning at like 6 a.m. Crushing a workout, one of the best workouts I've had. come home early. You know, I'm cooking while showering, like setting everything up. I'm like writing ideas down. I've got like a whole page, probably like 20 new video ideas that I want to do. It's just they're flying out of my head right now, and I'm like, this is brilliant, you know, and that energy's coming from somewhere. I'm passionate, I'm pushing stuff forward. I'm hiring like 2 or 3 different people to do different tasks while I'm working on this one. And it's like, look, I'm driving my life forward, okay? I've got that lust for life. I'm pushing everything forward. But in 10 years' time, my life's going to be better. What is your excuse? Why would your life be any different to mine? Why would your life not be better in 10 years' time, but mine would be? I'm nothing special. I don't come from money. I don't come from a good situation either. Like, a lot of shit has gone wrong. But I have pushed myself forward, and I've got that inner belief. I want to know where these kids are getting this kind of defeatist mindset from. Is it their parents? Put it in the comments, guys, if you have that defeatist mindset. Where did it come from? The media, parents, friends, the culture that you live in, the people around you? Because I was surrounded by all that shit, and I'm just like a fucking fortress. Honestly, you could smash a fucking hammer on my head and I wouldn't flinch. Metaphorically is what I'm saying. And like, people used to tell me, oh, quit, don't do that, that's shit, that's rubbish. Oh, you know, you're not earning enough, come and work with me. People would laugh at me. Oh, this kid just writes ebooks. This was like 6, 7, 8 years ago. All he does is write ebooks. What an idiot. Oh, he thinks he's going to be the new Hitch. I just fucking ignored it all. I just carried on as I was. I don't know why other people don't have this mentality, okay? Which brings me on to the purpose of the video today, and we're going to move over to the screen. My favorite, and it seems as though you guys like it as well, where I just go through a whole host of images like I did on the Balling on a Budget video, and I just take you through just kind of my mind, really, and I just show you what I see, what I envision, what like the difference can be. It's just a very good way of doing it. And at times I feel like I'm waffling, but by the end of the video, you know, in the comments and stuff, people seem to like it. So I think people like the rawness of the content, which is, you know, it's great, something in itself, especially in a fake world. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the other side of male life, okay? The other side of male life and what could be. Because the way that he was talking about, I used to go out and get drunk, do drugs, and now I feel like my life is finished. That's when I peaked. And I was like, drinking and doing drugs, that was your peak? Like, that's fun for you? And it's the same thing, taking it away from this guy, because I don't want to make it too personal. But it's the same in this country, in the UK. I've lived in Canada. It's not as bad, but it's still there. It's still prevalent. But in the UK, we've got a massive culture of just unambitious people. And their whole thing, like we saw this in COVID. When COVID hit, nobody had a job to go to and nobody could go to the pub. People didn't have lives. They were like, oh, what are we going to do? God, I'm so bored. I was like, my life doesn't change. I'll just carry on as normal. Like, the gym's closed. That was it. That was like the only thing that really affected me. Everything else was fine. I just carried on as normal because I've got a busy life. I've got shit to do. I'm always active. But there's a lot of people in the UK that just have this serious lack of ambition, and all they want to do is just get drunk, and they just see like, oh, I go to a festival, I do a load of drugs, and that's, you know, fun for me. That's the best thing. I'd roll around in the mud, I dance around, I have some sloppy sex with some skanky woman. Oh yeah, life's great. I'm living life while I'm young, because when I'm 30 and 40, life's going to be shit and boring. It's like, you don't understand the other side of male life, do you? Like, nobody's ever shown you, nobody's ever exposed it to you. This is why I made a video ages ago, and do you know what? It's probably not that long ago. It's just I made so much content. I looked this morning, it was like 334 videos or something. It's pretty crazy. And I made a video talking about how you should live like a king for a day. Now, you can do this on different levels, okay, based on what you want to achieve in life. But when I was younger, I would drop bags of money on a weekend. Just one weekend. You know, you go and rent an expensive car. You go and rent you go and get a 5-star hotel for 2 nights, or even 1 night if you don't really have the money. You go and get a perfect 10 escort for the night. You go to like a 5-star restaurant, Michelin star restaurant, and you live this lavish life so that when you wake up the next day and it's all gone, you know, obviously you're going to have money, okay? Like, you're not going to spend all your money. If you've got 10k, spare $1,000, okay? And like, or $2,000, whatever, like, reach out and go for it. And people might be like, God, that's a stupid way to spend money, Chris. You're always telling us to be frugal. But what it gives you is the belief and the passion, and that is way more important than anything else in the world. You know, Brian Tracy's like an old success guru, one of the only ones I really respect. He always says that most people will never become successful because they don't try. And people get a little bit angry when they hear that, and you go, yeah, but they don't. Oh, I go to work every day. It's like, yeah, but you're not trying to become successful. You're just trying to pay the bills every month. Like, you haven't actually done anything productive. Okay, I was going to say of worth, but, you know, a 9-to-5 job does have worth within itself, depending on who your dependents are and what your life says, okay? But people never try and do certain things, and it's like, if you've never been exposed to that lifestyle, the other side of male life, and how great it can be, well, why would you ever chase after it? Because you don't know it exists. You know, this is why so many people get rich and then they become depressed. They're like, I became a successful man, but, you know, I was just going out drinking, doing cocaine, I was in strip clubs, I was living a very poor life, and then I found God and I gave him my money away. And it's like, I don't think that's the answer. I just think you were doing it wrong. It's like people who get rich go and buy a manor house in the country for like 10 million. It's got 700 bedrooms. You can only sleep in one. I've got 400 bathrooms. You can only shit in one. Like, and then they go, oh, I was depressed. And this, you know, you get like a rich guy who shot himself in the woods, and people are like, see, money doesn't make you happy. It's like, no, it's just we don't understand in this world the other side of male life. Okay, a lot of people don't understand what it can do for you, how it can open up all these avenues, like how many other things you can do outside of just, I'll drive around in my Ferrari, I'll go and buy champagne, a bottle service in the club, and everybody will think I'm a baller, and I'll buy a Rolex. Like, it's not the way to do it, okay? And on a smaller scale, people who are just like, I'm going to get drunk this weekend. Okay, what about next weekend? I'm going to get drunk at a festival. Okay, what about the weekend after that? I'm going to get drunk in the park with my friends. Okay, what about the weekend after that? Me and this girl, we're going out. Oh, nice. And we're going to get drunk. And then we're going to come back and have sloppy sex. It's like the standards of so many guys' lives is so low. And they believe that it's going to go peak in your teens and 20s and then drop 30s, 40s, 50s. Oh, terrible life, boring, sat at home watching fucking X Factor. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's not what's going to happen. There is so much more that you can do. And I need to open your eyes, or a lot of your eyes, to the other side of male life. Like how good things become once you start leveling up, once you start growing, once the compound effect of self-improvement and hard work kicks in, and you get to that next level, okay? So we're going to move over to the screen. I've kind of built a mood board. I just went through Google earlier and I was just saving images of like cool shit off the top of my head. So look, the thing is, guys, I make these videos off the cuff. I don't really plan them. So if there's something missing where you're like, oh, that doesn't really suit my lifestyle, add your personal preferences into it, okay? I've tried to diversify as much as I can, but if you're not into the women I bring up on screen, if you're not into the locations, if you're not into what we would be doing on that day, just take it as a pinch of salt, okay? Switch it up and be like, what would I like to do? What would I be doing in that scenario? There's so much more that I can be doing in my life on a classy level. Like, think David Beckham, David Gandy, you know? There's so many guys that never grow up. They're like 35-year-old kids. They're like, there's so many guys in this area that I'm in now that I kind of grew up around. And when they were younger, they were going out getting drunk. I went away to Toronto for 2 years. I then moved to London for 3. I've come back here, and I've you know, with lockdown and my dad being ill, I've barely gone out. I've barely done anything. Now that it's lifted and my dad's obviously died, I've like gone out a little bit more. I've met a few more people. All these guys are like still doing the same shit. They're like 35, 40 years old with kids still going out getting drunk. It's like nobody's gone and got the key, like unlocked their brain and said, there's so much more life to live. There's so much more that you can strive for, you can pay for, you can achieve. Like, why not bridge your life out? Why not broaden your horizons? Why is it always, you know, the sloppy kind of lifestyle? Like, we're going to go on a lad's holiday and get drunk. And everyone seems to think that that's when you peak in your youth, okay? This is what this whole video is about before we move over to the screen, because otherwise I really want this to make sense and sink in so you can see what I'm trying to promote. But this is what it is. It's about youth, which I've told you the other day is only 7 years long, 9 years long maximum, and everybody focuses on it as this big thing. And it's like, oh, it's the peak of my life. You know those guys that are like 40 years old that tell youngsters, yeah, go out, get drunk, enjoy yourself, travel the world, go on holiday, because you're only young once. You know, your school years are the best years of your life. Once you get to my age, it's fucking shit. Just working a job every day. You get those guys and they're so negative. They're so negative. I hate those guys. I could punch those guys in the face daily as a morning alarm clock. Honest to God, they're so depressing. But they're actually pissed off with themselves, and they kind of pass on this virus to all the young lads. And I want to change that, because there's so much more that you can do. And this whole mentality of just destroy your life early on, go out, get drunk, you know, just accidentally get a girl pregnant because you were pissed up and you had a wild night, and people are like, wow, you know, it's what you do when you're young, you make mistakes. It's like, I didn't. I made mistakes for like a year or two, and then at like 20 years old, I was like, bang, right, I know what I want to be. I want to be a David Gandy, a David Beckham. I want to be a professional, well-dressed, well-groomed, in shape, haven't drank alcohol for 3 years type of man. You know, who's going to Paris, dressed up beautifully, you know, looks smart, looks professional, is an entrepreneur. I've got a beautiful 10 with me. She's sophisticated. She's dressing well. We're having a great conversation. We're sightseeing. We're going to the museums. We're having coffee at a nice cafe with a beautiful view of like the Louvre. Shit like that used to excite me when I was like 20 years old. And I was like, there's so much more that you can do as a man. But everybody around me was like, hey, want to get drunk? Want to go and get pissed? Want to get drunk? I don't know whether it's mental maturity. I don't know whether, because when we were young, my dad had a bit of money before he left at 14. He took us on like 3 holidays a year. Maybe that expanded my mind. Our old neighbors were pretty wealthy. They used to go on like 10 holidays a year. They were like 20 years older than my parents. And the guy was like an entrepreneur, real classy guy, like used to teach me about wine and stuff like that, and like business and whatever. He was like a mentor to me when I was young. It could be that, you know, it could be that. It could just be something that's built into me. It could be exposure. I'm not sure. But I think a lot of guys need to grow up. And I'm going to take you through this now, because this, you know, I think once you see it visually, it really hits home, okay? So we're going to swap over, guys. Okay, guys, so I've got a crazy bunch of images here, okay? I've just selected as many as I could fucking find. It was just like a mood board, like I said, just inspiration or things that I don't really particularly like in life, okay? And I'm just going to click through them. I trusted my abilities to be able to wade my way through this. It's not in order, whatever, but I'm pretty good at talking, as you guys know. So let's start up here. You know, just images like this, okay? This is what is considered traditional fun by the majority of the human population. You know, this is considered enjoyment, like being at a club, getting drunk, like down in alcohol, partying, music, sweating, being close to other people. Like, for me, this is my idea of hell. Okay, I look at this and I think, what a shit show. Like, I would hate to be at this place. You couldn't pay me to be at this place, okay? It's just like a frat boy party, okay? Everybody's young. Everybody's pissed out of the face. People are being stupid. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been out sober. You know, but you go out sober with your friends and they start getting drunk and people are drunk around you, and you notice how stupid people actually get and how immature they are. And they start, I'm not just talking about friends either, I'm talking about people around you, and they start bumping into you, they spill their drink on you. You know, and usually when you're drunk, you might be that guy or whatever, but it's just it's just low level fun, it's low quality. And this is what people kind of see as like, oh, this was my peak. It drives me insane. I'm like, this was your peak? This isn't a peak. This is a shit quality of life. This is so low level. Like, no man should believe that this drunken, out of shape college type of night was the peak of their life. That's really sad to me. Now, everybody's going to do it at some point. Everyone's going to go through it. Everyone wants to enjoy themselves. But every man should strive for more, surely. Let's find another one. You kind of... Like here, this is a place that I went when I was young, okay? Magaluf. It's like I think I was like 18 when I went here. Look at this shit show. You've got one girl passing out. You've got like all this fucking rubbish on the floor. The streets don't even look clean. She's passing out on her friend's lap. Like, everybody just looks pissed beyond belief. All these guys are like trying to prey on these girls. Everybody's outside like a pizza kebab shop. It's just like the lowest quality level of life that you could possibly live. But if you were to ask a lad who was like 18, 19 years old, what do you want to do for fun this summer? Unlimited money. They'd be like, I'm going to Ibiza or Magaluf. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to throw up everywhere. I'm going to have sloppy sex with women that are a 2 out of 10 and very low quality. Like, these two here, these are somebody's daughters, okay? And if their friends weren't around, they'd be getting molested or raped. Like, it's just a shocking shit show of a situation. And don't get me wrong, like, I've been to these places, but I'm just saying, most men don't grow beyond this. Now, if you're like 18 and you really want to experience a lad holiday with the boys, or you're on spring break in America, you really want to enjoy yourself, look, I'm not going to hold you back. I don't blame you, because I've done it myself. What am I going to do? Be a hypocrite and say don't go? Like, in hindsight, if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't go. I probably would have saved my money and done something else, okay? But at the time, it felt like the best idea in the world, and I can't change your mind if that's how it feels to you. But it's when guys get older and they don't realize that this is around the corner, or when they are young, they have nothing to strive for. They think this is the pinnacle. Like, there's so many people that I talk to my age, like 28 years old, 29 years old, that are like, oh, I miss when we were younger and we could go out and get drunk. I miss when we were younger and we could, have a house party. And I'm like, fuck, is that your level of ambition? Like, looking at this picture right now, what is that what you want to do? You want to sit on this fucking metal bench with these sluts just puking up everywhere, and you want to take them home, which is very sleazy based on the condition that they're in, and then you want to grab a pizza and a kebab. Like, it's my idea of hell. Like, if that's what you think peak is and you want to go back to that, then Jesus, man, like, you need to up your game. You need to understand what else is out in the world, and we'll get to that in a minute, okay? Here's another example, like the frat parties in America. There's probably more what you Americans and Canadians are used to seeing. And I don't know what it's like drinking out there. In the UK, we basically drink to oblivion and just destroy our livers. I think in the US, the drinking culture is not as big. I think they get drunk a lot quicker because, we're drinking at like 14, so we build up a tolerance. But yeah, in America, it's just not. I think it's more based around like games and stuff like that, isn't it? When you're drinking, whereas ours is just get pissed out your head, have a fight, fuck whoever you can fuck. Like, it's just it's just a little bit wild. Okay, it's almost like Highlander type of shit. But I guess you guys have had like some crazy parties as well, some crazy nights and all that sort of shit. And you must look at it and look back and be like, yeah, it was kind of fun, but it's not really something I want to do anymore. You see scenes like this always depresses me. Like, this is a meme, you'll see it everywhere, like in a club, like shouting down a girl's ear. Like, it's not appealing at all, is it? And this is the life that everybody chases. And look, in the morning, you end up with a big greasy hangover, you look worse, you feel worse, you're out of shape, your testosterone's down, just feel like shit, you feel depressed. Like, I was talking to a guy the other day. He pulled up in his car, he's a friend of my dad's, he was just like obviously having a chat, real nice guy. And he was like, I went out on the weekend to watch a football match. He was like, I got really drunk because I was coming back from the gym. So he was like, damn, like I kind of, like I would feel the same. I think he felt like kind of shit because he's like, you've been to the gym, you look really good. He was like, I've been to a football match, got drunk. And he was like, this morning I feel like shit. And I just don't want to go to the gym for like the next 2-3 days. He was like, I feel depressed. I'm like weighing up my life. And I was like, but this is what happens, okay? Like, it's not fun. But people kind of chase this. They get older and they still chase this youthful dream of like, oh yeah, that's how you have fun. That is what we place at the top of our society, is alcohol, sex, drugs, hangovers. Like, this is the only thing that we can do. This is the only metric that we have as a measurement for enjoying your life and things being good. And it drives me insane because nobody ever bridges out and looks at what else you can do and what more you can accomplish. And and you get stuff like the walk of shame. Like, you slept with a girl the night before, you're coming home like this, looking all sloppy. Yeah, you slept with the girl, good fun, but it's just a low quality version of, you were in a bedroom like this. It's like these vibes, isn't it? Like, you take a girl back to like a bedroom like this, or you're in her room, you got to be quiet because her housemate is like sleeping next to you, or her roommate. Like, the place is absolute trash. Like, everything's low level. The girl probably looks something like this. Just a proper low-level, skanky type of woman. No offense, love, but, it's not my sort of thing. I mean, just look at this guy that I found. His nose has collapsed from doing so much cocaine. I just don't know. That makes me sick. Honestly, that makes me sick. But so many people find that like appealing. Let's go out, let's get drunk, let's do cocaine. It's like, what, you want to look like this guy? Is this how you want to end up? Because he looks fucking fantastic, doesn't he? He looks great. You know, and the woman you wake up next to in the morning ends up looking like this. You know, she's not the same woman you went to bed with that night. You know, people want to... I mean, look at this. Imagine if that's your girlfriend or something. Just sprawled out on the street, just sucking in a balloon on the street of Magaluf. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, who wants to be surrounded by people like this? Yeah, they might grow up in the future and they end up being great mothers, you know, but who wants to be surrounded by people like this at the time? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. The other one that annoys me, like, look at this. No offense, lads. You might be watching this video, who knows, okay? Nothing against you, but this kind of shit where it's just a bunch of lads all with an England shirt on, just in case we forget what country we're in, having a beer, watching the game. It's just like this is what we value as entertainment. Like, there's so much more to do with our lives, and it's just the entire culture of young people is just built around just getting drunk, chasing women, like doing drugs. It's just like real shit, low-level stuff. Like another group of lads doing the same thing. You're fucking clones of one another. No offense, lads, you're all clones of one another. 3 more England shirts. It's like you're doing nothing different to what anybody else is doing. And like, the problem is, in like 40 years' time, they're still there. The same bunch of lads doing the same shit. And like, nobody ever bridges out and tries to do more. It drives me insane. The type of food you're eating too, that, you know, grand old job that does to your body. Just had 15 beers and now you're going to have cheesy chips or a kebab, and like, it just doesn't help, guys. Like, I look at pictures like this and I just think that's my idea of hell, okay? Just a bunch of people just smushed together in a pool, jumping around, all drunken. Everybody would just get on my nerves. There's just no level of class in this. Everybody's pissed beyond belief. Like, it's almost like hedonistic, like primitive humans, like a long time ago. Like, surely people can find new ways to enjoy themselves, okay? There's got to be something else. Like, we're dealing with women like this. Freshman boys, our couches don't pull out, so we hope you do. You know, like Megan does butt stuff. Like, we're talking about these types of women, like this type of culture. This is what it's all built around. And the other place that annoys me, like Glastonbury. The amount of time, I've never been to a festival in my life, and I never want to. Some people love them, okay? Oh, it's the best fun of your life. I'm sorry, but this looks like shit. Like, so many of my friends always tell me to come to festivals and whatever, and if it was sunny, look, I'm sure I'd enjoy it a lot more. But just walking around in the mud with like a fucking, like a ghillie suit on, like you're going to do some sniping. All these people like camped in tents, like there's no space, there's no showers, there's no luxury, the view is shit. The only reason people go to events like this is to get drunk and do drugs. Okay, you take those two elements out of it, and most people wouldn't want to go to an event like this. Most guys base their enjoyment off the drugs and the alcohol. And here's the problem, right? It's not actually an experience, because you don't end up remembering it. And you have so many negative connotations because you're like, God, you know, this is the kind of metric that people use, or the barometer that people use to measure a night out. They're like, mate, I was wasted. My head's banging. I couldn't remember anything. It was fucking class, mate. Last night was a movie. So that's not, I don't get that. I don't understand how that's fun. You've got to get to an age, you know, like I said, if you're 18 doing this, I can excuse you. But I know guys that are like 25, 30, 35 still doing this shit. And they're like, that's what life's for, is for living. It's like, this isn't living. This is not living. This is low quality cattle. Okay? You're wallowing in mud. You're walking around, getting pissed out of your head, doing drugs, wallowing in mud. I just don't see where the fucking upside of this is, okay? Like, look at the standard of it. Like, this is where you're spending your existence, in places like this, where people have got the low-level sense to just drop a kebab on the floor, just drop their drinks on the floor, just probably pissing on the floor and all sorts. And there's people falling over, lying in this, like somebody will throw up and then just lie in the sick, and you got to get them up. You're like, Jesus Christ, like, this can't be what we base our kind of lives around, okay? It's another one I want to show you in the UK. This is, look, 7 a.m. in the UK. It was England versus Germany in the Euros. There were people in the pubs at 7 a.m. And look, they don't look good. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's looking like a fucking dime piece, are they? Nobody's looking like a epitome of health. It's just such low level living. Like, what are we doing? Do you know what I mean? And taking it back to when I first started this video, and I said this guy was like, my life peaked when I was doing drugs and I was getting drunk, and it's never going to get better. It's like, well, of course it's not going to get better if you're living like this. Because you're just going to be an older version of the same fucking idiot doing the same fucking shit, expecting life to get better. Well, of course it's not going to get better. You're an older, uglier, fatter version of the person who used to go out and do the same things. Like, of course it's not going to be better. Your hormones are all out of sync. You've got a hormonal imbalance. Testosterone's low. Like, of course you're going to feel negative. Like, you need to change your lifestyle before you can do anything else, okay? Like, waking up in places like this, like trashing the place or whatever, and like absolutely surviving on coffee to keep you alive, or a Red Bull to give you that buzz in the morning. Your body's going to feel like shit, okay? Like, waking up here, like, we've all been in this situation. I've been in this situation. I remember the last time I ever got massively drunk. I woke up, I didn't really want to go. It was my 21st birthday, I think. And I just got out of a relationship. And I remember I woke up on my friend's floor or couch. I think it was like floor with a pillow. Or I might have been like really curled up on the couch. And I woke up and like he came in the morning, and I was just like, mate, this got to stop. I was like, we can't do this anymore. I was like, I wore a waistcoat out that night and thought I was a classy guy, and then I end up sleeping on on a sofa, like curled up, with like a cushion as a pillow, and I was like, this has to stop, man. Like, I can't be doing this anymore. Like, I want to live a better life. Like, I feel like shit. Where's my life going? I look terrible. I just look like some skinny fat guy. Like, the water retention in my face was awful. I just felt ashamed of myself, and I was like, why have I done this? I'm just ruining my life every time I do this, and I've woken up depressed. I've woken up on this sofa with no ambition, no goals to strive towards. I was like, I just need to turn all this shit around, and we've all been in this situation. And to think that that would be the peak of my life, no way, guys. Like, there's so much more to live for. And, you know, fuck the negativity now. Let's go over to the other side, okay? I might not have clicked on every image, but let's go over to like what life could be, okay? Like, what level you can achieve if you actually put your mind to it, okay? Now, here's a guy that I really, really admire, okay? His name is Rene Pacheco. He's a French director, and I think he might be a photographer as well. I think he does like small-scale movies, but a really cool guy. Obviously, as you could see, in really good shape, has kept himself healthy. He's always traveling around the world. He's got like fantastic fashion. He just seems like a really cultured guy. I've followed him for years, okay? And he just lives a pretty cool life. He keeps himself clean, like I said. Like, this is the type of guys that I kind of model myself on, especially when I was younger. I used to see pictures of this guy and be like, he's got a really cool life. Like, I would be out drunk, wake up the next morning on someone's sofa, check Instagram, and see this guy, like, up 7 in the morning after a gym session on a Saturday. And he was drinking, like, a morning coffee or something, you know, which would be like his treat for the week. You know, he's looking fantastic, like well-groomed, skin's looking good. He's lean, he's like well-dressed. He's like maybe there with a beautiful date or something. Like, the purpose of that day, he was going to like build his own fashion brand or something. Like, he'd be doing cool shit. And I was looking at it and I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, of course life gets better when you get older. Of course this guy's going to have an amazing life, okay? Like, when guys say, oh, you peak at 21, like, you can't really get girls after 25. Like, by 30, you're done. And I just see guys like this who have actually got a level of ambition and a level of sense to their life, okay? And I just think, of course not. Of course there's more to strive for. Of course, to that guy in the comments, your life doesn't peak when you're doing drugs and getting drunk. Like, it makes me so sad to think that there's men out there with that mentality, and they don't know about guys like Rene Pacheco that are living this kind of like really high-level, classy, sophisticated man life. And, you know, their entire pleasure comes from just getting drunk, doing drugs, partying, sleeping with like sleazy women. It's like you haven't been exposed to what could be, okay? Like, the next level. Okay, so I'm just going to flash through a few scenarios now, okay, guys? This is how I pictured my life when I was young. This is why I brought up this mood board, okay? I've given you an example of Rene Pacheco and some low-level guys getting drunk. Now I want to go through like the kind of mood board thing. It's going to be completely random, so please bear with me. I know some of you really like this type of like raw content. But this is just kind of how my mind works, okay? And like when I was young, I used to dream about a lot of this shit. I used to think the car I've got is very low level. I feel like shit when I'm driving the car. It rattles when I go quick on the motorway. You know, the house that I live in is shit. It's tiny. I'm not proud to bring girls back. Like, this is just terrible level house. And I used to just look at different scenarios, and I used to think to myself, when everybody was out getting drunk, I was like, I'd love to be completely sober, in the shape of my life, some mature, sophisticated man who's like nailed life in every department, who's really pushing forwards, has like a 10 by his side, a really nice car, like I'm driving from London to Paris or whatever. Like you get the ferry across and then you drive over. She's like a stunning woman. We're going there for a trip. You know, we booked like a 5-star hotel. I'm living in like luxury. I'm not spending a ridiculous amount of money, but I'm just choosing to put my money elsewhere. And I debated this with my dad when I was younger too, okay? Me and my dad went to Barcelona to watch Manchester City versus Barcelona in the Champions League. We were sat there and we kind of came out of the stadium early and we got away from all the pubs and whatever, and we found like a tapas bar, and we were having like a nice conversation with some of the people there. My dad speaks fluent Spanish, having nice food, nice drinks and whatnot. It was very sophisticated. And he was like, I don't want that life anymore. That because he used to be like a football hooligan when he was younger. And he was like, I want to move far away from that now. He was like the kind of like getting drunk pub culture of the UK. And he got to that level that I'm at now. Well, I was at a long, long time ago, okay? But I've learned a lot of it from him and how he changed. And I remember sitting there and just saying, Dad, like, you go out every single weekend, Friday and Saturday, in the hometown that we live in. You spend about £400 per weekend on alcohol, clothes, whatever, like taxis and whatnot. I was like, if you just saved that £400 every single week, I was like, you would have £1,600 per month spare. I was like, at the end of each month, you could take 5 days off, you could take a week off, go over to like Barcelona and these different places and, you know, live lavishly, like with the same amount of money, or spend half the amount of money and save the other half. I was like, you could do that. And within 3 weeks, he'd booked a flight to Barcelona. He'd met a woman out there. He went and bought a bar, which is, you know, kind of ironic, but he was running it, not drinking. And he moved out there and he lived there for like 6-7 years before he had to move back and then died of cancer. But it was so nice to know that he actually was allowed to become the him that he wanted to become. Like, instead of just going out, getting drunk every weekend, because that's what's programmed into people's minds, is like, oh, that's what you do is fun. He broadened his horizons. Like, he was traveling around Spain. He was like doing trips on the train, like going and like experiencing different things, like going around the museum for the day, like looking at the architecture. Like, he really opened his mind up, became like a much more sophisticated man. Like, the chats that we had beyond that point were unbelievable. And it's just like another side of life that men don't realize exists. And I exposed my dad to it. Like, I kind of opened his eyes because I was well into this like men's lifestyle shit at that point. And when he saw it, he was like, I wish I was living like this my whole life. Like, I'm spending like 50% of the money, but I'm doing like 10 times more things. I'm happier, I'm healthier. He ended up with cancer. He ended up getting to 16 stone of like lean muscle. He was just training every day, living well, going to the gym in the morning, dating women, like walking on the beach, like going out for 1 or 2 sophisticated wines at night, like sitting on a beach bar or whatever. And he was like, this is the best I've ever lived. And this is something that I want to promote to guys, is that the shit car that you have right now, it gets better. Okay, you can get a better life. The shitty gym that you're in right now, there's a 10 times better gym that will make your life feel amazing, with 10 times better facilities, with amazing experiences. Oh, you're into sports? Well, you can take a trip to Roland Garros in Paris. You can sit and watch the tennis, dress up with a couple of friends, have a meal, make a whole day of it. Like, there's so many more experiences that you can have that we're not really looking into, okay? Like, I'll just go from the top, okay? I'll just look through a bunch of images. Like, this is the life that I picture. Like, you grow up in some absolute shit house, but you know that you have something like this to look forward to, okay? You have like this. I found this picture of this woman earlier, okay? I don't think she's unbelievable. I don't think she's the best woman in the world. I would date this woman, though. Reason being, she looks classy, she looks well put together. She sat there in the morning drinking her coffee, I think it's morning, you know, outside the Louvre, it's a classy environment. She seems as though she's well educated. She's not going out, getting drunk and doing stupid shit. Like, this is the type of vibes that I like, okay? Somebody that I would go over and start a conversation with, because I'd be like, yeah, I'm feeling that energy. I don't understand what's so good about, like, sluts and stuff like that. It drives me insane. Like, I look at, like, how beautiful this is, okay? This is in Milan. It's a spa. Like, you could spend your time here. Like, that's healthy. It's a lot cheaper than going on a night out. It's probably like £30. You could just spend like a night at the spa. There's so much more shit to do. And we'll get back to other pictures in a minute, okay? But like, look at this, guys. I'll go through the stages, okay? I've got another picture here somewhere. If I can just locate it. Like, this might be your first apartment, okay? And you're like 21 years old, you're going out, getting drunk. And then you knuckle down. You're like, okay, fuck the drugs, fuck the drink, I'm going to change my lifestyle, I'm really going to knuckle down, I want a better life, I believe there's better experiences out there. With more money, with more success, with a better, comes a better life, okay? And you could go from that place to this place, okay? So your life is going to upgrade, now your life is better. So you're older, but your life didn't peak at 18, 19, 20 when you're going out getting drunk, doing drugs in that shit apartment. You've now got a classier apartment, okay? You feel a lot better about yourself. You keep working hard, eventually you end up somewhere like here. Like, I don't see how other men don't see this. Like, this for me gets me so excited, like seeing that level of progression. To know that at 18 I could be in that shithole, and then at 25 I could be in the other place. Okay, I've got myself on my feet. And then at 32, let's say I move into this place and I'm like, fuck, I've made it. Like, my life is balling. Like, I've really done well for myself. This is fantastic. My life has improved. Like, that was something to strive towards. This is now a place I can be proud of. I can host parties here. I can have a couple meals. I can invite family round. I can bring girls back and they're going to be like, wow, it's impressive. You've done well for yourself. And I'm not saying it's about that. It's not an ego stroke, but it just feels good, you know? I've just saved so many pictures, guys. Like, another place here, like a classy guy with his woman, beautiful view, pool. Like, I know obviously you've got to be like a multi-millionaire to get a place like this. But I'm just saying there's so much more that you can do when you get older and you get more money, okay? Like, you're probably going to have a shit car like this when you're young. Like some boy racer, guy sticking his middle finger up. Look at these gangsters, okay? He's got the side skirts, the loud exhaust. Like, it's all childish shit, but people still chase this stuff as they get older. Like, they still stay immature. And I just don't see this as peak. I don't think this is the peak. I don't think these are best years of your life when we had no responsibilities. I want responsibilities. I want shit to deal with. I want to wake up in the morning and I've got like 5 missed calls from people I work with, who work for me, sorry. And it's like, we need to get this deal done. Okay, we're going to be at this hotel at this time. We're meeting with these clients, or we're on set at 9. The actors are going to be there. Like, I like those sort of problems where it's like, okay, we got something to deal with. We've got a purpose. But a lot of people kind of strive for like having no purpose in life, having nothing to strive towards, having an easy life. I just want a job which is easy pay, no responsibility, don't have to do a lot. A small house, studio, all bills included. Nothing to worry about. I mean, that's fine if you want to live minimalistically, but I'm just saying they don't want to strive for anything better. They're like, as long as I can get my 6 beers and sit in front of the TV on a Saturday. It's like, I promise you, it gets so much better as you get older. I just got a range of places. There's a place in Dubai, like, you might never get there, okay? But it's something to fucking strive for, isn't it, guys? Surely. There's a beautiful place in Portofino. Like, I'm sorry, but who would rather be on a drunken strip in Magaluf rather than here? Like, this is stunning. Imagine the life that you could have here. Like, sat out there, having a couple of drinks and some food with friends, with the beautiful view. You can go down, take a dip in the sea, rent a boat for the day. I can paddle it out, sail it out to this point, like explore the islands, go and get some food at different places. That's my kind of living. I don't know why more guys don't strive for this. You could be completely different, but I just don't know where the ambition's gone. You could, here's what money can do, okay? It can open up in a sporting sense. Let's say you're a massive F1 fan. Well, here's what it can do. If you work on yourself and you push forward, you've got things to strive for in life. You want to be a better man in the future. You could get tickets to the F1. And you could have this view and you're watching cars come around this corner. There's a wonderful corner there, iconic corner. Come around here, zooming around. You've got like that first person view. With this beautiful view behind you, you're here with your friends, you're all dressed up, you're looking smart. Like, that's a hell of a day. That's an experience that cannot be matched from just going down the pub and watching a football game. Okay, and it's why I want to show you guys. This is what I want to keep reiterating so it doesn't just seem like a pointless random video. There's a better side to life, and there's so much more that you can do, and the other side of male life is unbelievable. There's so much that you can accomplish. You can be like a 30-year-old, in shape, handsome, in your peak man, dating beautiful women, you know, going to locations like this, enjoying the fucking event, you know. I just think it's unmatched. I just don't know what else, you know, can really compete with it. If you're more into like nature, look, you can go on a cruise around here, you can get off, you can go through Scandinavia. For me, that's an unbelievable trip. It's such a stunning location. Like, it opens up so many possibilities when you push forward in life, okay? Like, these are what we got here. We got Barcelona. Look, again, if you're a sports fan, like, you can watch the game from this point of view. That's so much better than being in a pub and watching it on TV. Like, it opens up so many avenues. Like, classier women that dress like this. This is my kind of vibes, okay? I don't know why more guys don't chase it. Flying on flights like this. Like, there's so much more that can be opened up, okay? Again, look at these locations. You can visit beautiful places like this. This is my, like, face-wise, is it my type of woman? Like, she is beautiful, but it's not my type of woman. But, like, dressing up in a classy manner like that and going to, like, a bar with your beautiful missus, like a classy high-end bar, like a rooftop bar, or going for, like, a nice meal or whatever. Why is this not valued higher in society? I will never understand it. You know, and even, like, in a health sense, I know this is CGI, but this is in Hudson Yards in New York. But you can have experiences like this. When you're young, you probably wouldn't be able to afford this, okay? And if you could afford it, you're probably spending all your money on beer and nights out and drugs. It just drives me insane to say that that was the peak of your life. Like, how much better is this? I don't know how fresh the air is in New York, but at this altitude, it's probably pretty decent. You know, that's so peaceful. You're probably away from the sounds of the city. Like, yeah, granted, it's a loud city. You could probably still hear it. But this would be stunning. This would be unbelievable. I'd love to do something like this, okay? It's a much better experience than, you know, and you could do this at probably like 6 a.m. There's probably a class booked. You're going to feel healthy. You're going to feel good. You're going to get on with your day. This whole going out, getting drunk, waking up at fucking 2 p.m. hungover with a dry mouth, a sore throat, you know, body fat's up, skin's all greasy, face is all puffy. Like, why is this celebrated? Why is this normalized too, guys? Why is this so normal to do? Why is this celebrated as youth? Why? I want to retain my youth, not blast it away by living like shit. Like, I wish I could go back to being like 18 years old and go and do something like this. Like, that's what really gets my dick hard now. And here we are at the same location, okay? This is a gym. This is a gym with a rooftop pool. You wouldn't have been able to afford this membership before. Like, this is how your life improves when you get older. Like, shit just gets cooler. You start doing James Bond type shit in James Bond type locations. Like, your gym before might have been just some tatty £20 per month pure gym. Okay, and now you're signing up to this one. I guess it's called Equinox from what it says in the pool. Now you're swimming around this rooftop pool. You've got a beautiful view. It feels good. You know, you're training harder. You're more dedicated. You're not hungover all the time. So your training's going well. You're getting better results. Like, everything comes together. It's almost like a compound effect of being a man. Now, guys, I'm just throwing fucking random examples at you. Some of you might have left already. Some people might be bored. I just love doing this. I just love showing the vast number of options that are out there. I'm covering all bases with this. I'm just showing you as much as I can. Like, the level of women go up. Your gym improves, your car improves, your house improves, quality of life, your experiences improve. So let's say, put it this way, right? This is what I always pictured. When people told me I was an idiot, you should get a job, your business is going nowhere, I laughed because I was like, well, you know, in 10 years' time, you're going to be sat at your desk in the rain with a beer belly, pissed off at life with a woman you don't want to be with. I was like, I'm going to be in a rooftop bar in fucking Marseille with a beautiful 10, eating and drinking whatever I want. You know, I'm in the shape of my life. I look good. I've got money in the bank. I don't have a boss to answer to. I've still got residual money coming in, paying me for the trip. I make more money while I'm on the trip than I can spend. You know, and this is the kind of life that you can strive for. Okay, like, everybody can do something like this. Everybody can push for a better life. I'm sick to death of this kind of, I guess it is very black pill, that mentality of this, that's it. Like, you get to a certain stage in your life and that's it. You will not get better. Like 21 is your peak. After that, everything's downhill. You were at your peak attractiveness. You know, you can't really go out and get drunk anymore because you've got responsibilities. Oh, responsibilities are annoying. Wish I was tie free. I wish I could go back to when I was 18 and nothing mattered. And I was just, you know, so many guys are like, oh yeah, when I was 18, I used to get a lot of girls. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you were 18 and you were the biggest stud on the planet, but now you're 32 and you're not, it means nothing. Okay, all that matters is the current date. All that matters is the future, like what you're striving towards. Like nobody cares about a washed up guy with a beer belly who used to be the king in high school. I just don't know where this mentality comes from of I need to blow my load in the first 3, 4, 5 years of life. Like there's so much more that you can be doing. Like options like I couldn't afford a gym like this when I was younger. I couldn't dream of going to a gym like this, even if I lived in New York, which I wouldn't have been able to afford. But do you see what I mean? I can take a trip there for a month, and I could sign up to this gym for the month and enjoy all the facilities of the gym, get some great content, you know? These things bridge out as you get older because you've got more money, you've got access to this ability. Like here's another beautiful penthouse. Who wouldn't want to live in a place like this with your own terrace and a beautiful view? Like you're not getting that at 17, 18 years old. Like you're doing your drugs in a snotty little club and sleeping with some sluts. Give me this house any day of the week over that shit. It's unrivaled. There's not even a competition between which life would be better, in my opinion. I mean, just as a brief example, I went on this boat in Toronto, okay? It's called the Tiki Taxi. We hired it after hours. I don't think we were supposed to, but we paid enough money. And I convinced the guy to let me drive, so which again wasn't supposed to, but fuck it doesn't matter now, does it? So I was just driving this boat around the kind of Bay of Toronto. I don't know if it's just the lakes, I guess, Toronto lakes. I was just driving around this boat with my friends, and we were just having like good fun. We had a bit of food with us. I think we had like 1 beer each with us, and we just had that. So I was kind of drink driving a boat. I don't know if that's massively illegal. Who cares? And it was just like, we had the most fun of our lives. And then we walked home, we went to bed, we got up the next morning, 2 of us went to the gym. Like, you can have these experiences without having to get absolutely blind, though, getting bladdered on the boat. Invite a couple girls with you. Like, there's like experiences that you can have. Like, anybody who doesn't think this view is beautiful is a moron. Okay? I'd happily punch you in the face. Like, I would rather just sit there all day on this balcony and just look at this view, eating food, sipping on drinks, whatever, like non-alcoholic drinks, having good conversation with friends about life, whatever, like business ideas. That's what stimulates me. You know, or with a beautiful woman, she's talking about like business or what she wants to accomplish or what she wants to do in the future and different ideas, or we're going like deeper into like philosophical topics or something like that. Like that would get me going. Like that's what I enjoy doing. That's what stimulates me. But like this view compared to looking down at a toilet seat and spewing your guts up because you've drank too much. Like it's time to level up, guys. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep banging on and I'm going to keep repeating myself and knocking these photos out because more of you guys just like one of these pictures will click for you, okay? You'll see one picture and go, shit, I know exactly what he's talking about. Like imagine just waking up in this place. Sober, in shape, healthy, well rested, you look good, you got your beautiful woman with you, and you've ordered breakfast, you know, breakfast in bed, like kind of, you know, and you're eating the food, you're, you know, having a sip of your drink, you got your beautiful woman, you got the view of the Eiffel Tower. Like, how would you not feel 10 times more powerful than waking up with a fucking hangover after going to some shit club in your local town? Like, all of this, guys, is possible. Anybody can achieve this life. Anybody can reach this level. You just have to know it's possible, and then you have to dream and work towards it every single day, and you have to change your priorities and your principles. Like, you have to become a guy that's like, I don't masturbate, I don't watch porn, I'm high level. Okay, step 1. You know, I'm a guy who goes to the gym, keeps himself in shape as a show and a sign of respect to others and those around him. I might even play the Tom Ford video right now, if copyright doesn't strike it. I might play the Tom Ford video. It's a free ad for them. They're not going to complain, right?
I believe that taking care of oneself adds quality to life, and that looking the best you can is a show of respect to those around you.
This is one thing that I live by. This is something that really got me going when I was younger. It's like got me into like male grooming and making the best of myself, and like Tom Ford and how classy that guy is. And the model is Juan Betancourt. I think he's a Chilean model, I think. I could be wrong there. Let me think. He is Cuban. He could be Cuban, actually, guys. Yeah, I think he's a Cuban model. Real handsome guy. Obviously stays in shape, keeps himself together. And when I used to see guys like this, I used to think to myself, fuck. Like, why am I not at that level? Like, what am I doing in my life? Like, why? I saw a video the other day. A lot of you guys keep shouting out Hamza. He seems like a really good guy. I think he emailed me, so I checked out his channel. And I've dropped him an email. I want to collaborate on a video or something. I think he lives in Wales based on his accent. So does my sister. So I might pop down, do a workout with the guy. He seems real sound. And one of his videos was titled, I didn't watch it because I already knew what was in the video, right? And that's not saying it's a bad video. It's just saying that I'm on that fucking level. Like, I connect with that guy based on just that video title. I know exactly what he's thinking. And the video was titled, I want to be, it was along the lines of like, I want to be better than other men. Now, I get that on so many levels, okay? I can connect to that so strongly. And that was what always happened to me, is like I saw Juan Betancourt and like the Tom Ford voiceover, and I'd be like, shit, Tom Ford owns his own like fashion brand. He's like this classy guy rolling around in suits and shades, like he's traveling the world. He's at like New York Fashion Week and then in Paris Fashion Week. Like, he's having a baller life. And then you got Juan Betancourt, this super handsome guy, dating any girl he wants, you know, again, traveling the world. He's got a career that he's built. And I've just woken up on a fucking sofa, out of shape, puffy, looking like some skinny little teenager, just wasting my life. And I'm also 200 pounds down because I'm a moron. And I just kept drinking to oblivion and spending all my money. You know, and all my trainers are scuffed up because the club had like a sticky floor and all these low-level guys and girls were just drunk and standing on my trainers. You cannot compare the two, guys. You cannot compare the two. And this is like how I used to think when I was younger. And now I'm like, I've worked my bollocks off and put myself in a position where I can live like this now. And I believe, like, I'm about to turn 29 in a week's time, or like 10 days, the 28th of August, if anybody wants to know. And I'm ready to live that life. Like, I'm in a position now where I can do all of this. And I'm like, damn, that was worth it. I'm 29. A lot of people go into a job they hate, and I can live like this if I want to. I can literally do what I want every day. And even on a small scale, guys, like, this is some expensive shit, okay? Now, I've shown you before, you can ball on a budget. You can go places like Dubrovnik, Montenegro, whatever. It was a cool video, okay? This is very similar. But you can do it on a small scale. Like, you can just go and grab your laptop and work from a local cafe or something, like a stylish cafe that's got like nice views. You can sit there and work, you know, and you could do that on like a Friday afternoon, like be around people, whatever, and then everyone goes out and gets drunk, and you know, you're heading home for the day, and you're like, I've had a lovely day. Like, I've done exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, let's go home. Let's open up that cookbook. Let's try and emulate what they've cooked. Let's invite that woman around. That I want. Let's cook a beautiful meal for the both of us. You know, let's watch a film or something. Let's have a deep conversation about something. Let's get up in the morning. We're both going to go to the gym together. I got a free day pass. Like, that kind of shit. Like, why can you not live like that? And I understood that from Hamza's video straight away, man. Like, I didn't even need to watch it. And I know for a fact if he came on this video right now, he'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I don't want to be lower than other men. I told you guys that story before. It sticks with me forever. I was in a club, and there was this girl that I was chasing for like 3-4 weeks. I was putting time in, okay? She always kept me at bay. Beautiful girl, like she was this like beautiful blonde girl with a great ass. And she always wore like these short fucking shorts. I was like proper into this chick. And I was probably like 20 years old, 21 years old. And this is when all my shit just stopped. It was like a year of revelations. Like when Kylie Jenner said, it's just a year of realizing things. Everybody laughed, but I'm fucking with her on that, man. And I was like chasing this girl for ages. And then there was like one day in the club, a few of you guys remember this story I told you, where this like 25, 26-year-old guy came in, and he's handsome as fuck. He's well groomed. He's like in amazing shape. Like he'd built up like the frame that I have now. And he was like well dressed, whatever. He was like sober. He had his car keys with him. And he's just like, all right, babe, gave her a kiss. He was like, I'm parked outside. Let's go. And she's just like, okay. And she's like saying bye to everybody. And then she leaves with him. And I was stood there and I was like, fuck, that is literally like taking a bullet through the heart. And it's not like heartbreaking, oh, I've lost a woman. It was more so like, how have I been this stupid? How did I think this was going to better my life? How did I think this was the peak and this was the way to live? Like to run around like a moron, getting drunk, chasing women, just doing all the basic immature 19-year-old type of shit, okay? Like the frat boy lifestyle. And I certainly realized at that point this isn't the peak. And that's why when I see comments like that where guys are like, my life won't get better. And I remember the 25, 26-year-old guy who was just shitting on me, just killing me. And I was like, never again will I let another guy be better than me. And if they are, it's because they worked for it. It's not because I didn't. Like if I meet a guy and he's just excelling me in all areas, I'll be like, fair enough. It's not because I haven't tried. It's like, you know, we both get women. We both got a good life. Like, congratulations, buddy. But it isn't because I've been going out getting drunk and just shitting on myself and ruining my own life. Like, don't be your own virus, okay? Don't make your life negatively self-inflicted. Like, don't make it the reason that you're living poorly because of you. Like, you're in complete control, and that's what frustrates me, is people kind of believe it's like fate. You have full control over this shit. You can control your entire destiny. You can point it in any fucking direction that you want to point it in. It just starts with decisions and principles. Like I said, you go, okay, I'm the type of guy who doesn't masturbate. I'm the type of guy who goes to the gym instead of... Like, I go to the gym on a Friday night. I go to the gym on a Saturday morning. I go to the gym on a Sunday morning. I don't wake up hungover. That's not me. I'm above that. Like, when people say to me now, we went out last night, we got absolutely smashed. Fucking hell, I'm feeling it this morning. I'm really hungover. You know what it's like? I'm like, no, I don't. I haven't done it in years, and I don't want to. I'm like, it's kind of immature. Like, how old are you now? Like, I'll make them feel bad because I don't give a fuck. I'm like, it's pathetic. Oh, you're 28 years old, still getting pissed beyond belief. For what reason? Tell me. Was it a party? Was it a stag do? Was it your 30th and you just wanted to blow off some steam? Did you just accomplish something great or make a ton of money and you wanted to celebrate? No, it's none of those. So what the fuck are you going out for? What the fuck are you living this low-level life for? Why are you spending this dog shit money going to some dead-end club to just hang around with other bums that are just trying to fill a gap, that are doing fuck all with their life? Like, people might think I'm harsh there. People might be like, hey, Chris, but you've got to have fun. Trust me, you can have so much more fun doing this shit. You know, a night out is like... Somebody asked me to address... on Instagram, they asked me to address something that I spoke about a while back, where I said pre-drinks are usually better than the night out, okay? It's almost like the buzz is better than the night out, because the night out ends up being shit. Like, usually what you look forward to isn't that great. It's usually the journey towards it that gets the energy going, the buzz. You know, when you're looking forward, everything, you're optimistic about everything. That's very much a night out. Like, the pre-drinks, the buzz before, you get excited, and then the actual night out is kind of shit. Like, I've had that multiple times. Then you wake up the next day, and it's way worse. You're hungover, you feel bad, you look bad, hormones out of sync, depression's kicked back in. You're going nowhere, you've spent more money than you've got, like, and you realise, shit, I should have invested that money. Then something like Bitcoin blows up and you go, fuck, I would have had enough money for that had I not been messing around all these years, just going out and partying and blowing $4,000 per year on alcohol. Like, it's so stupid, right? And that's what I mean by, like, the pre-drinks are actually better than the event. Like, usually there's other things to be done. And like, I just look at this picture on screen now with just like the breakfast, early morning. You've got the woman there. You've got the beautiful view. Like, you're in Paris. Like, how could you not be happy? How could this not kick off like a chain reaction over time? Like, day by day, your life's good. Like, obviously, there's going to be bad days. There's going to be down days. It's not all going to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows. I understand that these pictures are crafted to create that impression for Instagram and whatever they're trying to do, or sell the hotel room, right? But at the same time, this has to be better, guys. This has to be better than just wasting your life in some pub watching sports, sat in front of the TV drinking beers on a Sunday because you haven't got work yet. I'm not back in work till Monday. I'll have a couple of beers and watch the match, watch the game. You know, like, what the fuck? Like, where is that going? And I know it's turned into like a rant, and obviously I showed you that car earlier. You know, this is apparently for a lot of guys, this is peak of their life. 3 lads going on a road trip in the car together. Put me inside this BMW i8 with the beautiful interior, and I'll drive through Europe and enjoy myself with a 10 beside me. Every day of the week, guys. This is stuff you can't do when you're younger. Like the male advantage. I can't believe it's the first time I've mentioned male advantage in a video like this. But this is the male advantage. If you put the work in, all this shit kicks in later on, okay? And I know, like, I make a lot of these weird random videos, and if there's people still left watching, thank you so much, because I repeat a lot of shit, but it comes from passion, and I like to have it sinking into your brains. I just want to show you as much stuff as possible. I want to just unveil this other life that is out there, the other side of life, as the video is titled. Because very few men will ever reach this point because they don't know it exists, okay? Obviously they know like better cars exist, better houses and stuff like that, but they just don't understand the kind of lifestyle aspect to it, of like chain reaction theory, okay? Like I'm a massive believer that every day you get like a range of decisions, okay? Let's keep it simple. Let's say it's a bad decision, a neutral decision, and a good decision. The more good decisions, like, you know that dance game, I can't remember, you used to like go into like arcades and you'd jump on that like dance machine and you'd like Guitar Hero, where you'd hit the commands and stuff like that, right? If you were to have like a chain reaction of good decisions, so you wake up in the morning, it's 5 a.m., you get straight out of bed. Another guy lies in bed for 20 minutes and then decides to masturbate. Well, of course, like straight away, you're going to be ahead of that guy, okay? Even if that guy comes from a wealthier family than you, comes from a better situation than you, like he's more handsome than you naturally. Like if you've made that one conscious decision, it's not going to have a big effect. But as a chain reaction theory, if you keep making decisions like that, it's going to have a ripple effect, okay? So next, you have a healthy porridge with some fruit for breakfast and some nuts. He's having Cheerios, he's having a Red Bull, you know, and then you go off to the gym, you train for an hour, he just sits in front of the TV, just waiting until it's time to go to work. Like over time, when you keep making these types of decisions, your life is going to get better. And for people to be like, oh, I just go out and get drunk and I just do drugs and whatever. And for someone else, another guy, to be like, no, I've changed my decision making. I stayed in on Friday night. I went to the gym Saturday morning at 7 a.m. because I woke up feeling healthy and fresh. I made myself a nice smoothie. I made myself some decent food. I started working on a new business idea that I have. Or I called my boss and was like, okay, I really want a promotion this year. What can I do? How can I push forward? I'm going to start working weekends to get to that position of power. You know, just little like productive things. These little decisions will add up. And for a guy to be like, oh, my life peaked at 18 when I was drunk and doing drugs and partying all the time, it's never going to get better than that. It's like, I just don't see how. Like, that's a lazy mentality. I'm embarrassed for the guy. And anybody who doesn't believe that it can get better has either been told that it couldn't get better by men who fucked up their own lives, got to 40 and said life doesn't get better after 21. You go downhill, you get fat, bold and ugly. Like, shut the fuck up. Because I'm proving that every day. I'm 10 times better today than I was when I first started this business, okay? Like, you saw my before and after picture a year apart. I'll bring it up on screen again now. As a different human being. Imagine at like 35 years old. It's just, you know, with a ridiculous amount of money, a giant business in place. It's just going to be levels above, massive more experiences. Like, the average person's experience, okay, during a year is one holiday, about 350 days sat in an office. Okay, probably a little bit less to be, obviously, with the weekends. So, like 250 days sat in an office. They go to the pub after work, might have a pint. They watch sports on the weekends. And maybe they've got a girlfriend or a wife that they don't really want to be with. You know, they have to take the kids to parties on weekends. They're not happy. Yeah, it's not a life, guys. It's not a life, okay? That's why it feels worse, because you never really worked on yourself. You never really, like Brian Tracy said, tried to get a better life. You never tried to chase success. You never tried to see what else was out there. It's what most guys do. They're just stuck in this bubble of just work, home, pub. Like, COVID showed us that, like I said at the start. And it's so embarrassing to see in the comments so many guys being like, you say that men peak at like 37, 36, 37. You know, you say men's lives don't start until they're 30. Well, yeah, because look at all the shit I just brought up on screen. Who's achieving that at 21? Most of us at 18 were hanging out of a fucking taxi throwing up, you know, texting our fucking ex, like, oh, I want you back, like crying ourselves to sleep, right? There's just so many young guys that are like in these shitty situations, like, oh, or masturbating all fucking weekends, watching porn relentlessly and being like, I have no purpose, I don't know what to do with my life. Life gets better as you get older. Please, guys, do not think that you've peaked young. Please, like, honestly, there's so much more to accomplish, but you have to work for it. You cannot sit there at 35 after not doing anything, not working hard, never being in the gym, not trying to improve and go, see, told you, life gets worse. You peak when you're young. It's like, no, that's you. You're an average bum. You're not in my world. You don't operate on the same level. And I'm an alien to you. I'm an alien to you. I live a different existence. I walk a higher plane. I vibrate on a different frequency. I'm like a subwoofer next to a radio. It's just a different brand of human being, okay? And there's certain guys that just need to deploy that mentality, because I promise you, with all these experiences, the extra money, the success, the access to better women and whatever, when you combine all of this shit together, life starts. But if you're just wasting your fucking time doing drugs, getting drunk, saying, oh, when I was young it was great because I had no responsibilities, no bills and all this shit, it's like, you got to evolve. You got to evolve. You got to go from a boy to a man. I've said this so many times in a physical sense, but in a mental sense, it's probably twice as important. Because without the mental thing, you won't even be in the gym. Without the mental thing, you won't even be chasing the success. Without the mental side of things covered, you won't even know what else is out there, because you haven't even gone down that thought pattern of, I need to change. And without that, you're never going to start. So guys, please, I pray that more people will see images like this and think, there's a better life out there for me. I can start visualizing stuff. I can start pairing the nice car with the beautiful woman, with the nice suit, with me being in shape, with good skin, a good grooming routine, the kind of like Tom Ford mentality, like blend it all together and become the perfect man, because that's what First Man's all about, okay? And I'm going to end the video here because my throat is hurting. It's probably my fault for talking so much. I do like one of these rants every month. I hope people enjoyed it. I hope it's something that you can like train to or just zone out to. And if some of you are like, if you're sat there right now and you've got a real shitty life and everyone around you is negative and they're all going to the pub and they're getting drunk and you're kind of following suit, right? You might be going down with them. You might be going and having a few beers. You might be at a college frat party and whatever, and you're doing it, but at the back of your mind there's something more out there. Hopefully that can open, this video can open your mind to that existence. Hopefully it can let you know that there are men like you out in the world, and it's okay to be like that. There are high-level men that have got a penthouse in New York, and not even that, okay? They got like a 15th floor house, apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. It just looks very nice in New York with a balcony. They've got a membership at that gym, at the Equinox gym. They're swimming in that rooftop pool at like 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning in August. They're in great shape. They're dating beautiful women. They're starting their own business. They're investing in crypto. They're starting their own NFT project. Like, they're active, they're busy, they're fresh, they're healthy, they're clean, their diet's good. They're thinking straight. There's men like that out there. I'm one of them. You're one of them. That's why you're still here. That's why you've got that mentality, okay? So just let those words sink in. And if you're surrounded by mediocrity, don't worry. There's always a way out. You're just going to have to go it alone, okay? If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement, Male Advantage ebook, or my personal workout and diet plan, all links are in the bio.